Welcome back. We are here for the Between Stars and Suns, Season 2, Episode 19. Let's go ahead and just do a previously on first. Do you remember what happened from last time? One or two thoughts? And then we'll see if anybody has any masks that they want to narrate. But yeah. Anything sticks out in anybody's mind from last time?
Liat dealt with the collector in a very creative way.
I did. Liat ended up going to meet with Mrs. Vardana to confront her about the collector and the reality of it, really, which is that it is a 3-foot long tubular alien. But she ended up at essentially a salon for escorts and courtesans and things of that nature. But she ended up using some of her magic that she's learned to really get the party started. And as part of that party, it drew forth the alien from the body that it was using as its home, which was Mrs. Vardana. And she made an agreement that if the alien left London for now until she was out of London, she would let it live. And so the agreement seems to have been kept. The alien decided to leave and will, of course, hopefully have a very fruitful and long life elsewhere in Europe, possibly Asia, even the Americas, who knows?
John Weiss ran in circles for that last session because he got a body part, then he lost the body part because it was infected with something that he doesn't understand. There's supernatural stuff I think he kind of believes, but he doesn't really want to. He's very sad about that. He also is like, oh no, my good friend and pal, Sir Atticus, is not doing hot either, and I need to protect him because there are more important things in life than personal goals.
Which Sir Atticus had to come to terms with after coming across the scene of gore and destruction and trying to chase down the beast and effectively being talked off the ledge of burning down Shoreditch. So he's kind of broken up about that.
Indeed. And I believe Ernest had a grand old time hanging out with the mastermind, and probably still is. So, unfortunately, Ernest's player will not be joining us this evening, and hopefully we will see Sarah back next time. But in the meantime, does anybody have any masks that they have ready? I believe I'm owed 2 masks.
I think this was years ago. I think we see a younger Dr. John Weiss. Well, not quite doctor yet. I think he's running in the rain, kind of getting soaked through. His papers are just like he's trying to cling to his chest to like keep them dry. It's not really helping. He should have brought an umbrella, but I think like he manages to get under a stoop for like a moment to just step out of the rain. And I think we see coming into frame a sort of umbrella, and we hear laughter and not quite the specifics of the conversation, but I think as Dr. Weiss and Dimitri sort of lean close into each other, I think sort of some quick glances around before the umbrella comes down a little bit closer, and we cut the scene there.
And then my mask is narrate a flashback to when you first tried to kill the beast that shows how greatly unprepared you were. We see a dark forest. We see a merry band of hunters, torches, swords, hunting hounds. Sir Atticus Wellington-Hughes the Fourth at the lead. We see him giving orders. It's the dark of night. He plans to surround everything, to enclose the beast. It's been residing in a bog. Simple business. Hem it in, kill it with overwhelming force. About an hour in, he finds that he has about maybe half of his number. And another hour later, half yet again. And he thought that they were simply being hunted, killed. But when he did find the bog where it resided, and he saw that skull with the flesh torn off, it loomed over the bog, but not alone. And he saw that all of the hunters that he had brought with him stood before it as a vanguard. And we cut to dawn, and he is walking away from a burning forest, much worse for the wearer.
Thank you. And we enter into day phase. We have 3 threats still on the board. The beast itself, St. Petersburg Mirror, and the King in Shadows, which is still around. This is the, again, day phase, but later on, it will be the 3rd of 4 nights that the King in Shadows will be running. So, timer is running out.
We have to address it.
Yep, and the question is, again, what roles are you intended to perform in the play? Complexity 6, and you resolve this threat of the King in Shadows by playing out this role during the play's next performance, ending in the tragic fall of the occluded king, or by breaking out of this role and ruining the production itself, thereby returning order to London. There is only one clue available on the board for Complexity 6. St. Petersburg Mirror has a side lateral question. I don't forget how they're termed. Is the St. Petersburg Mirror genuine? That is Complexity 2. If the mirror is genuine, it is available as a reward if the hunters are able to secure it. And then there are 3 choices for resolving the threat for St. Petersburg. 1, a Complexity 4. What trickery and deceit does Madame Sorokin deploy in order to dupe those who come into her parlor? Or the other Complexity 4, who is truly behind the blackmail ring and how are they using Madame Sorokin? The more complex solution is Complexity 6, which is how do you know that not only is Madame Sorokin a true psychic, but currently is only using a small portion of her potential? Given time, what could she achieve? So that is a choice of how you'd like to resolve the threat. And there are currently 2 clues on the board for that. Beast. There are 2 ways that you can resolve the beast threat. What makes the beast most vulnerable? That's Complexity 4. Or what curse binds the beast to the legacy? A Complexity 6. There are currently 3 clues on the board for that. All right. So, a lot of choices, a lot of stuff to do, and Day phase commences. Vulnerable scenes, just scenes, investigations. Just tell me how you want to start.
Well, I would like a vulnerable scene, please. I'm sitting at 2 conditions, and I have a feeling that the King in Shadows is going to be a tough threat to resolve with how much we've ignored it.
Okay. Your advice or mine?
I'm fine with doing my vice unless you want me to ask a particular question of you.
Nope. Go ahead and frame the scene then.
I think sort of it's like up in the halls of Hargrave House, sort of where the bedrooms are at. I think it's very early in the morning, and I think Sir Atticus, you wake to smell some coffee, and you outside your door, you hear some like footsteps like being paced about, as though somewhere we're wandering out about there.
Okay. The door opens. Sir Atticus looking particularly harangued, pale, tired, not getting much sleep. And you are?
Dr. Weiss is still wearing his clothes from the night before. He looks a little bit tired, a little bit exhausted, but very nervous. Like, he's very tense about something, and it's not helping that the fact that he keeps on every so often he has this cup of coffee that he's just drinking from.
Have you slept?
I've had some amount of sleep. It's just that I keep hearing things. The house it didn't bother me before, but the house keeps on groaning.
It's an old house, John. It's going to do that.
Yeah.
And if it were just noises that bothered you, then you'd have issue with London. So come in, take a seat, and tell me what's bothering you. I think Atticus will pluck the cup out of your hand and down it in one gulp.
Okay. All right. I think. What does your room look like? Because I don't think we've been in here before.
Paint the scene. What does Atticus's room have? Question for everyone.
We sort of did when Rag was here. When Rag was in and out of your room.
A lot of well-maintained weapons, I think I mentioned.
Yes.
I think there's more of a giant conspiracy board that has been put up just over a map of London, with scrawled notes and just bunches of thread trying to guide where it might go next. And you know that sections of London have been partitioned by the easiest ways to isolate them.
I'm imagining in front of this conspiracy board that there is a chair just so you can sit back and look at the entire piece.
Oh yeah, no, he dragged one of those big cushy chairs all the way across this fine hardwood floor, utterly ruining the varnish, just so they could have it there.
I think on the conspiracy map, I mean, however you've marked all the different places that you've tracked the beast, but I'm gonna say that there's some special push pins, ribbons, something that you've marked. One looks like it has a scrap of what looks like some kind of red and gray patterned cloth, and you've kind of knotted it up and placed it just on what looks like an abandoned shop. I mean, it's not that detailed, but I mean somewhere where an abandoned shop is in Shoreditch. That's one. And then the other one is where I think it was, can't remember what the school was, but you had marked you had hung a rosary from
Yeah.
pin that you put into, I think, St. Cecilia's, or wherever that school was that Rag got sent to.
Yeah. So what is this business about, John? Was it not enough that you denied me that very righteous hunt, put London at risk? Now you have to pace outside of the door because you're afraid of skitterings in the dark.
Well, I I I, I don't exactly always trust my perception about things. Yeah, I'm only human, and humans are bound to make mistakes. I originally just thought I was having a lapse of judgment, but I think I may have accidentally invited a ghost into Hargrave House.
Atticus pauses, contemplates. Probably not the worst that someone's invited into Hargrave House. We've had vampires. We've had. There's a party weeks ago from Liat. Who knows what was here? Very well. And Atticus will just kind of toss over papers, notes, everything else. He'll find just a beaten up old little notebook, flip through it, and he'll like write out effectively a prescription of anti-ghost behaviors and just like press it to your chest. There, follow those instructions and you should be safe. You should be fine.
Oh, all right. How can you handle all this, knowing everything is real?
Atticus will kind of look at you quizzically. How do you deal with the fact that the sun rises or the fact that you will one day die? It's always been there, regardless of whether or not you knew it. Wait, did you? No. It's entirely possible you weren't familiar with it. Hargrave calls all sorts. I mean, do you really believe that you know everything?
Well, I don't know everything, but everything should be able to be explained.
Yes. And there's a ghost that you invited into the home. Simple as that. It all follows rules, it all follows predator prey relations, whatever. Just happens that instead of something, and he'll knock on the wood solid, it's ectoplasm, or it's a curse, or it's some other nonsense.
Oh, I think like at that, I think you've always seen John be very excitable about something. And I think at that, you see a sort of shift in John's body language towards more apathy, question mark? It becomes a little bit cold, a little bit distant. Oh, that makes sense. All right.
Then you're not scared anymore. You're not bothered by it anymore. That was it. Just telling you that there were rules that you could figure out to explain it.
Yes, there was a concern that there would be no rules at all. But if there's rules, it's just not another unexplored form of science.
Takes all kinds, I suppose. Good. I'm glad I could do some good tonight, today, whenever it is. Atticus is gonna just go and loom over by the giant window that he has because he took this room from oh darn, the previous undeniable Oda. Oda had that big window that like just showed all of London. And he's just kind of staring at it gloomily.
Would you care for some comfort in return? You seem a little bit distracted.
You stopped me from fulfilling my life's purpose, the thing that I was trained from birth to do. Yes, I believe you've done quite enough, John. Thank you.
I stopped you from dying. Would you deny me my life's purpose?
John, I don't know what your life's purpose is. One moment you're pacing around and you're afraid of ghosts, and the next it's, oh, it's all rules. I understand it perfectly fine. You're not here simply to solve ghosts. I imagine you're doing some sort of research for something with books. I don't know.
Would you like to know?
Atticus will pause, consider.
I think for a lot of members of Hargrave House that you've seen, they are unwilling to share. You will not have that for me, because you have saved my life. You have been honest with me, and I shall return the favor in any way I can. But I will not let you die.
Atticus will pause, wave you off. It isn't a secret to be told or to be kept. It's something that's merely meant to drive you and your actions, whatever the ideal is. I'll find out in time, when it's important, when it's necessary. I was limited. I was short-sighted. I was focused on just the immediate rather than the greater goal, which is to keep London safe, to keep humanity safe. So I suppose, in a way, you did help me keep to that oath. So you owe me nothing. I was merely doing what I swore I would do.
I think at that, John gets up. He heads towards the door. The offer will still stand. And I think you'll leave. Unless you want to ask me a question about my backstory.
Let's take a look at conditions before we do that. So in this case, Dr. Weiss, there are more important things?
No, because I did. I imagine even though this is more specified towards ghosts, I think Dr. Weiss can figure out how to protect his room from Dame Georgie because he's scared the living shit out of that guy.
Okay. Okay.
Ghost be gone, more like Georgie be gone.
Okay.
Take 2 shots of holy water, hang a rosary over your bed, call me in the morning.
There you go.
Just stay in the shower. Make sure it's always running.
Oh my god. And then Sir Atticus, betrayed ideals?
There was a higher calling, which is to make sure that humanity is okay, rather than just kill the beast, kill the beast, kill the beast.
Well, humanity's never okay, so
It wouldn't be an ideal if it wasn't completely unattainable.
True. So I'm assuming that you want the bonus of stumbling onto a clue then, Dr. Weiss.
Unless Sir Atticus wants to ask me a question.
Nope. Clue
Okay.
works for me.
Okie dokie.
God knows you. Just take
That's
your
exactly
pick.
why I thought it dramatically. Yes. Please tell me your ideal and your deep dark secret. On the other hand, no, we seriously got to get a clue on like this theater thing because it's gonna kill us.
I'll just make your lives hell. It'll be fine. It's all good.
I mean, yeah, we could make it, but like, actually, though.
Sure. Alrighty. Any other scenes?
I would like scenes with both of them,
Nice.
but not at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right, fine.
It would be a scene. It wouldn't be a vulnerable move. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be a scene for me because I'm condition free.
Right,
I'm
right.
blemishless.
Oh yes, absolutely. You're flawless.
The picture of beauty and perfection.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out who would be the best. I think Georgie, if you'll entertain me.
Not Georgie.
Not Georgie. Yeah, well, sorry. It's just on top of my head. Dr. Weiss. If you would entertain me, I think we'll use your Weiss because I have an idea where maybe you're coming out of Sir Atticus's and you can smell coffee being roasted down in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And when you get there, you see that there are a few bodies, all of whom are naked. All of them have like spots of gold on them. It's sort of peeling away, sort of like gold leaf sort of flecking off. It's almost as if the spell that they were under sort of is fading away. But one of them is making coffee while Liat sort of is entertained by the others, just sort of sitting there in the kitchen.
Liat, how many people have you invited over Hargrave House?
These are the
Well-
people from the salon, right?
Yeah, there are a
Okay.
couple. This was the afters. It's the afters into the morning.
Yeah.
I've lost track, dear. I don't really keep a log of those sort of things. You coffee?
Sure. I'll take a cup.
Fernando makes an excellent brew. He'll fix it to your liking, won't you, Fernando? And then the naked man who was making the coffee will nod and prepare it however you like.
Yeah. Dr. Weiss likes to have his coffee black. Like it's just coffee is a source of fuel to caffeinate. Does he need any more? Probably not. Will he take more? Always.
What did you get up to last evening?
Well, you know how Sir Atticus is hunting down this beast. It's a very mysterious creature.
No, I don't. Been sort of touch and go with him as of late, but I'm sure it's very important to him.
It is. It's been hunted by his family for generations, and I 100% believe that. I saw the creature myself. It is a monstrosity, and I have no idea how to even begin to suspect what could kill it.
Monstrosity, eh? What was the scariest part of it for you? What made your blood run cold?
It corrupts flesh. It does something to it that makes it perverse, that it infects and it controls, and it just makes these monstrosities. If it stays in London, it could destroy the city, consume it all.
Well, we wouldn't want that now, would we?
No. I don't know what it is. I've never seen anything like it. And I really can't explain it all that well. Sir Atticus assures me that he can explain these types of things, so I trust him on that.
Why do you trust him so?
Could we cut away for a moment, please?
No problem.
You want to do like a little scene with Atticus?
Yeah. Atticus,
Yes.
I imagine that you're still in your room?
Yeah. Just prepping some paint.
Hmm. I think you hear like like maybe a pebble at your window. Like,
He'll put down the paint can and look down.
it, even in broad daylight, you may not even believe your eyes. Maybe you see Father O'Donnell there. He's wearing a combination of like robes and like hunting leathers.
Yeah, Atticus is gonna get on whatever is laying around and run downstairs as quickly as possible.
Trying to remember. Let's just say it's either the side garden or like maybe the back garden. You know, he's come in and he meets you out there. And his arms are open. I don't know if you embrace him or if he just, you know, just come to a halt before you get to him.
He stops, come to a halt.
You never came back to get or to talk, basically. Loren said that she saw you.
Yes, and then Loren turned her back on our family's purpose. You know exactly what the beast is.
I know.
You know what's at stake with London, then.
I do.
Then you understand why I wasn't able to. However happy I was to hear that you were present again. Why I was not able to come and speak with you.
You did this before. You went full hail ahead and not heeding anyone's advice or even a bit of patience and temperance.
Blame it on the vagaries of youth, motioning to myself. Don't exactly have age and wisdom anymore, though some scars are still the same.
Did you bring nothing back of what you were? I mean, you still experienced a lifetime.
I did an entire lifetime's worth of failures, O'Donnell. And here I am again. And again, yesterday, I failed. Though, and take a look at Hargrave House, there are certain individuals who have different perspectives on what higher callings are.
And that's why you, well, Did you have someone like me? Where you came from? Your
You.
sister explained.
You. It was always you. Though the circumstances being what they are quite different between here and there.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here, being the way I am now. Somewhere between the one you knew and the one that I was. As you are. This is cryptic, I know.
You've been spending time with Loren. So yes, being cryptic is what I've come to expect from her as of late. No one speaks damn straight, either in Hargrave House nor out here, it seems.
She said she did. She said she told you.
She said that something had changed, and that she couldn't tell me in much detail. And that I was not her brother. Which, by the way, Loren, if you're listening, did sting. I was preparing to paint on the window, saying that I would finally hear her out. However, as happy as I am to see you, it seems that you are here as a surrogate, to send a message.
She didn't know how you were going to... accept her after trying to tell you the truth. I'm here now. I'm not even sure if I know if you want the truth.
Will it change the hunt of the beast?
It may. It may
Then tell me.
help you.
Then tell me. Will it harm you?
No.
Then I see no reason not to tell me. Come what may.
Come what may.
Please.
Before I continue on with Father O'Donnell's story, let's go ahead and make an information move, please.
Oh boy!
Scheisse meinte.
Can I just flex very, very intently? No? Okay.
Open the top buttons a bit.
Can I try and use sensitivity to divine?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're laughing. Do you want me to do vitality? Just like pop the top button.
I
and,
was curious. I was curious to see how you were going to parlay this. No,
sensitivity. Literally just tapping into whatever wibbly wobbliness has happened and try and know something I should not know yet.
Yes, exactly. That's how we can explain it for sure.
Ooh, no, that's a 5.
What the?
That's a 5. So please tell me what bad thing is happening before I decide whether or not I would like to mark a mask for this hopefully very important information move. My rapidly dwindling masks, might I add.
I know. Oh my god. Oh, crap, dude.
No pressure.
No pressure. So what is the bad thing? Because this is a complete whiff.
What's the complication?
Actually,
or the condition?
Or the hard move from the mastermind.
Oh.
Literally, the queen shows up in a shadow, grabs Father O'Donnell, and disappears into the dark.
No, man, it's like just making me fall into tropes and shit. Okay, hold on.
Tropes exist for a reason.
Yeah. That could be very well it. I'm gonna say that I really wanted to invoke the special rule, but you're not doing something perilous or dramatic.
This is pretty dramatic. You built up whatever the secret is.
Okay. All right.
I don't even know what threat this is, so I don't know if I can use the King in Shadows spat.
No, no, because I have the following reaction.
Oh.
If you undertake a dramatic action that provokes a die roll, this is, and the die roll is a miss, you can call for an intermission before the outcome is narrated. So, the curtain falls, and our cast stand backstage amidst the elaborate set of the previous scene. The other performers in the wings change costumes, reapply makeup, practice lines, or cry solemnly. How does each performer enjoy their break as they step off stage? So you are outside in the garden, and I'm going to say at that moment where the curtain falls, then it's like a flash over to the side that the curtain falls, and then you see the trees and the bushes like suddenly get moved off to the side as they reset. And then what happens to all the other performers? What happens to the actor playing Sir Atticus?
Oh no! A stagehand brings over a towel and like a large stein of beer, like 2 steins of beer, and give one to the actor playing Father O'Tonnell. That was a capital scene, chap. Good. Although I am a bit worried that people aren't going to be able to follow talking in circles and all that. Dear Lord.
It's subtlety, sir. It's just not. I mean, we can't have, like, bombastic action all the time. This is the beginning of the day. You just woke up after having done that big action scene before.
The bastard got over that whole, oh, I betrayed my ideals thing rather quickly, don't you think? Took a swig of coffee from the little Poindexter and was perfectly fine.
In the time that this needed to happen, we couldn't drag it on for hours. No one's going to sit through that.
I'm just saying, this is no King Lear. I was King Lear, by the way. It was a very good role, very strong for the portfolio. And speaking of
this is a stretch for me. I used to play Hamlet, yeah? I mean...
Are you sure it wasn't Polonius with the way that you were pulling off that aged gentleman vibe? You were doing quite well with that, old man.
I played most of the parts. I mean, like, you have to do the rounds, of course.
Even Ophelia.
When I was younger, yes.
Oh. Speaking of the Poindexter, where are those actors? Their scene's next, right?
Yes.
Ah.
What happened with the actors playing Liat and Dr. Weiss?
I think for Liat, I think we cut to her, crossing across the stage to see Father Donald and Atticus, the actress, and say, "Will you two get on with it? My God."
I'm just upset because we have the beer and you don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I wanted swill, I'd go down to a local pub. Thank you.
Where should they
get on with it,
beer
Betty
from?
Just jealous.
Less jealous, but more about pissed about how the director decided to cut our scene midway through. Like, come on, who ever heard of this direction?
Well, I mean, there was an option of either A, wait for you to actually remember your line, or B,
Fuck
allow...
you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You don't have all the scientific mumbo jumbo that this guy is.
Very fair. This is one of the simpler, more straightforward roles I've had to play here. Pass over the stein, take a swig, you'll be fine.
Liat will go up to Mads and say, "We're about to go into overtime."
Take some of this, take a sip, you'll be fine afterwards. And maybe after, we'll get some better liqueur after this performance.
Ah, an after party. That sounds great.
Indeed.
So
all right.
Clear off the stage, let the other actors get in their places.
Shall I cut back to Liat and Don Weiss now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, so basically
the gold actors just start putting out their cigarettes and hurry back to their marks.
Fix any wigs, fix any costuming.
Exactly.
Quick touch up of makeup and all this kind of stuff, and go for it. I think it heads back into the scene where where the gold flecked actors are like back in their poses and such in the kitchen.
Liat, before we immediately cut back to the play, Liat will just sort of look at John as if like, go ahead.
And like John will roll his eyes and then back to scene. I trust him because
Line.
I think at this point that the theater lights are flickering.
Liat gets up and says, I can't work like this.
Thinking shadows is the best.
Yes. We're probably using this a little bit more than we should, but I don't care. This is too much fun. Yeah. So
Out of character though, would it be easier to take like a break, chaotic, or should we just like move on to a scene between Atticus and Father Donald and like what's going on?
no worries. Okay, let's go ahead and take the 10-minute break. So we're back at the 16 mark in 10 minutes. All right. See you
See you in
then.
10.
Okay. Back to John and Liat.
Trust him because honestly, Liat, he's just a little bit more pleasant to be around.
Then whom?
I'm not sure why people like you, Liat.
Darling, no one likes me. They fear me, they lust after me, they want to be me.
Why would they
Nobody
want to
likes
be
me.
you?
Well, why wouldn't you want to be me?
But you're
Beautiful, powerful, intimidating, alluring, intelligent, sophisticated, cultured.
Clever?
I'm sorry?
alluring?
Yes. I can't expect someone with such antiseptic taste to appreciate the finer things of life, but, well, that's why you spend your time with dead bodies, and I spend my time with the living.
I take great offense to that.
Good, it would be lovely to see some form of emotion or passion come from you, my God.
Yes, but it won't come from you. You're just rather gaudy.
Gaudy. Yes, I am gaudy, aren't I? And she sort of smirks at that as that Fernando refills her cup of coffee.
Yeah, look at Fernando there. He I would describe as very handsome and very robust. You look like you could be fell down by a single wind and you will jingle all the way down.
I'd like to test that theory, Dr. Weiss. And when she says that, Abdurrahman comes behind him and puts a throat knife to his throat.
And see, you just get people who are scared of you to just do your bidding. Do you even have any friends at all?
Abdurrahman's my friend, and he's not scared of me one bit. Are you, Abdurrahman? And he just shakes his head no. But you. Is anyone scared of you, Dr. Weiss? Have you instilled fear or any great passion in anybody? Any great emotion? Any?
I've been hated. I've been despised, disgusted. I've been loved. Which is to say more than you. Because I doubt anyone has actually loved you.
Oh, well, whether or not they have, well, that's really their problem, isn't it? You're very feisty, Dr. Weiss. I must say it's quite amusing. Spirited little scamp.
Yes, I guess. I don't know what your end game here is. I don't know what defined our interpersonal co-workship. I am not amused by your antics, and I'm not afraid of you. Oh no. Noise in the background. Leaf blower, how could you?
Want to cut back to the Atticus?
Everyone is forgetting their lines. It's absolutely unprofessional.
The Father O'Donnell actor has to cough.
They went down the wrong pipe, old man.
Just amusement that you haven't seemed to have learned anything. Even for all that time. In the other... Well, let's just say it. The other dimension. That you had a chance to come here and use that experience towards this last hunt. You said, for whatever reason, that this was going to be the last. You were no longer going to be under the heel of the third. Even after he died.
Mm-hmm.
And you've let this become your obsession. Your
What
system.
should I do, O'Donnell? Just let it go and...
No. I'm not saying let it go. I'm just saying... Perhaps take the lessons that you learned from the other place when you were older. Lorraine told me, at least from what she saw, of your exploits, your success. Yes, it wasn't the beast, I know, but it was something far greater. You actually made a friend. Several, if she described them correctly. The
Yes.
only reason you were brought here was because of one of those friends. Do you remember what happened to them? Or you don't want to remember?
No, I do not. I was hunting them, and they got away.
Yes, they got away. The big secret, the thing that she was trying to tell you, was that the person from this dimension, the Sir Atticus here, was the one that died. You replaced him. She was surprised that she saw you. Somehow thinking that her brother had come back, and finding out that it wasn't him was devastating.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. If I died and the third is dead, there should be no beast.
That was the other complication. You brought the beast here. The beast of this place had died, along with this Sir Atticus. You brought the beast here.
God. Atticus will just kind of take a seat on the stone bench in the garden and just let that soak in for a minute.
I was to meet him, you know. I was supposed to Yes. I guess supposed to be his help. His. What do they call them? Protege? And I was supposed to be his helper. But then the whole thing with the Greenwich spirits, whatever they were, time moved strangely, and they decided, the organization that Loren is now with decided that it would be best if I did some dimension hopping of my own, I guess.
You had some growing up to do.
I did. And more training.
And so you made a choice then.
I did. Just as you did.
Just as the good Lady Everly graded.
She was on her own hunt. She just stumbled onto your beast. And unfortunately, it found her.
Okay.
You wanted to know. And I gave you the truth.
Yes.
You brought it here. And now, it's up to you to try to dispel it, vanquish it, something. It will cause its own havoc here.
Some things don't change.
But even more so, as it, I don't know if you noticed, but it is not acting like it did.
It laughed.
It did. We suspect it's gained sentience. It knows. It knows very well.
It has cruelty now.
Yes. It has seen through your eyes, experienced what you experienced, and knows who you are with or care about.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm offering my help. As displaced as I am, as displaced as you are.
Why?
As displaced as we are. I am not the original rag.
Yes.
From here.
I recall. Well, after all this is said and done, I know a place for displaced figures such as yourself and mine. The Duke is rather welcoming, if nothing else.
I have heard of her.
Wait till you meet her. I assure you, any rumors you have heard do not do her justice. Now, Atticus will slap his thigh, stand on up. Well, now we know what we're dealing with. It is a beast that can go between space and time. All after me. Wonderful.
It is connected to you, yes.
Which means it will not leave London.
No.
And if it has intelligence, and it has cruelty, yes, I know exactly who I need to speak with. And then we hard cut to Liat.
Yes. But before we do, I just want to say, and I know this has to do with one of the questions, but I'm going to give it to you as a condition anyway for coming up to the 7 to 9. Fatal binding.
Oh, you're okay. All right. So that condition means that I am bound to kill this thing. Like, killing is what we're doing.
You can interpret that any way you like.
All right. Just good to know. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
I'm interpreting that condition in a very different way, and I'm very nervous.
Okay. Okay. So, cutting over to Liat and John, having a bit of a tiff.
Yeah, I have a knife to my throat.
Yes.
No biggie.
No biggie. Absolutely not.
And I'm still insulting Liat.
Yeah, you're. I want to say that
You're a scamp.
Yeah, I want to say that like even though Abdurrahman's not saying a damn thing, he's just kind of like looking at you and looking over at Liat and looking at you like. Maybe when you're saying something incredibly like what he would consider dumb, maybe he's kind of like, even though the knife is here, like he's kind of like slapping you on the shoulder.
I don't remember where we left off, unfortunately.
I think I think you called me a scamp, and I was like, I
Do you have any actual friends who don't fear
Yes.
or lust after you?
Right.
Yes.
That's like, I have
that
a
was
friend, Abdurrahman. And Abdurrahman's like, we're not friends, but I'm still going to hold a knife to someone's throat for you.
He is my friend ish.
You don't.
He is
doesn't
your
fear me.
employee.
Well, I mean, I don't pay him. So.
You
And
just
he's
put him back
sometimes a
together.
cat, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay him in animation.
he's closer to your pet.
So wait, where do we leave off? Where do we want to leave off? Where do we want to pick up? I'm okay kind of too with just sort of resolving the scene just because I'm just like that whole thing just put me out of it. So
Yeah.
If you want to have scene killer Atticus just come storming up in the middle of it, we could do that.
no.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just like I
Yeah,
could not hear anything.
yeah, I think it technically was a vulnerable move, and it was my vice. Do you want to ask me a question, Liat, or do you want me to come up with another clue?
I think she'll ask you a clue. She'll say, I think the question's pretty obvious there. So why is it that you, seeing what you've seen and knowing what I'm capable of, why don't you fear me?
Because I've met women like you before. They're nasty, and if they want to kill, they will. But they haven't, because they find me more useful alive, or they just don't want to output the effort in killing me. So why don't you kill me?
Because, my dear, you're not worth the effort.
Exactly.
Well, this has been, well, entertaining for one of us, I'm sure. Fernando, finish off the coffee. I'll be taking my leave, and she'll sort of start to get up, and you see that she's just sort of like dressed in this sort of ermine coat and nothing else, of course, aside from like copious amounts of necklaces that are adorned with the gold coins. Abdurrahman. John, do you shave, or are you sort of smooth the neck area?
I think like Jean like shaves every so often. I think like his beard is starting to grow in a little bit because like he's been up all night and a little bit antsy.
If it's okay, then I think Abdurrahman scrapes up a little bit and then sort of flicks the sort of small stubble of hair onto the table in front of you before walking off and following Liat. So you now just have sort of like a shaved patch on your jaw.
I think as we cut the scene away, I think like John just touches it right there, watching Abdurrahman walk away.
Damn.
John is more impressed with Abdurrahman than Liat, honestly speaking.
I mean, he is impressive. He's very impressive.
There are more important things. You're gonna keep it.
I'm gonna keep it because because John is still concerned with Atticus,
Yeah.
and Liat did not do anything from dissuading that concern at all, rather than just putting in the point of like Liat is not going to help with the situation.
Very helpful when I want to be.
But I don't
want to be.
I mean, what's interesting is this, like, even though you're, I don't believe, even the weird back and forth, I don't believe that John even disclosed, why he's helping or concerned about Sir Atticus. So
yeah, because that's
I
kind
think
of
it seemed to me
backstory.
like he was just more put off like by Liat than just like that, than anything else.
Right.
But I think that to cut over to the one with Atticus, I think that it's maybe some time later in Atticus, you've finished talking with Father McDonald, and in the time between that and her tiff with Dr. Weiss, she has changed once again, obviously, as she is wont to do. I think it's just sort of like a full length gown that comes from the neck all the way to the floor, and like it comes with gloves, but it's all like black leather with this sort of like feathery sort of embroidery all over it.
Okay.
But black is for mourning, obviously, and she will hear a knock on your door.
On her door?
On your door.
On my door?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, come in.
And Abdurrahman will be there, just standing there, and he'll sort of just gesture towards the hall as if to sort of like point you to Liat's room.
Atticus will roll his eyes, pack up whatever scattered notes he has, and kind of step out. Liat.
In here.
Atticus will storm in.
You'll see she has more of like a kind of like a tea table with a pair of chairs, sort of wingback leather, very nice, very fine. But she set up a little bit of a tea set with an empty cup and an empty seat by the fireplace.
Atticus will approach. No opium this time.
No, I figured a nice jasmine and urubu, and I just forgot what the tea name is. What's the not Ouroboros? What is it?
Rooibos.
Rooibos, yes. A nice jasmine and rooibos would do just fine.
Well, Atticus will take a seat. If Abdurrahman wanted to try and kill Atticus, he probably would have. So Atticus figures that this is a civil conversation.
My night was very, very busy. But yours, from what I've heard, well, I'm terribly sorry.
The beast. Do you know it?
Not intimately, no. But it being here must only mean one thing.
That it's after me.
Well, that you won't have much longer to live. And in these last few weeks, hopefully longer, I wanted to share some time with you before your inevitable demise. I do hope that your death is valiant, though.
Seems so
Doesn't-
assured that I'm going to die.
Well,
Bit of a disappointment, honestly, Liat. After everything that you've seen me fight, you think that this one other threat is not something that I would be able to face?
it wasn't good enough for your grandfather, was it? And your grandfather's father, and the one before that, and the one before that. And this thing has been in your line for generations, and yet none of you have managed to successfully take it down.
But there is one difference between my father and my father's father and his father before him. One grand difference between me and those men.
That they could bear children?
No. Very close, though. That I am in the inimitable company. Inimitable, non-duplicate.
Yeah, inevitable.
Yeah. You, Liat, the fine immortal. Mother of monsters.
It is true. I did actually want to invite you here, not for more than just casual sparring.
Yes, I figured. And Atticus will take a sip. Oh, this is actually quite good.
Yeah, thank you. Abdurrahman made it.
Thank you, Abdurrahman.
The honey is ancient, Mesopotamian.
It stays that good for that
Well.
long.
He has his ways.
Capital cup. They'll continue to drink and wait for you to give your pitch.
Been doing a little bit of research, and I know that you've been to a very special place. Place that very few have been able to tread. I think that I might want to visit. And I think if I can visit, if you teach me how, I can help you along the way, help you with this wretched beast. The thing that plagues you and your family and your line.
I show you how to tread the fragrant void. And in exchange, your help, your complete, total, and utter service to the destruction of the beast in its entirety.
I said nothing about destruction, my dear. I merely meant preservation of your life. You do all, after all, have a creed, do you not? To protect all life, not just in London, but on Earth. And, well, you can't do that if you're dead.
Human life.
Yes, human life. I will see to it that I use every resource that I have at my disposal to keep you alive.
Alas, Liat, I'm a monster hunter. I'm quite familiar with the numerous ways of being kept alive that are all equally horrifying. Petrification by a Medusa, for example, comes to mind.
Well, it's not terribly effective in monster hunting, is it? Just being a statue. No,
Okay.
I'm being uncharacteristically transparent when I say that my intention here is only the void. And my offer is true. I intend no underhandedness. I won't turn you into another Abdurrahman. I won't feed you to Dame Georgie. I won't any of the number of things that would keep your body moving. Let's just say I will promise that your soul will be bound to your body and you will be animated without any sort of threat between now and the time that you somehow resolve this beast business.
A tempting offer. A counter offer, if you will.
She takes a sip of her tea.
Aid me in the complete destruction of the beast, and I will swear to be a follower as long as I tread earth upon London.
It is quite an offer. Very well, on one condition.
Atticus listens.
Or you slay this beast, and I will help you trap it. You will allow me an audience with it so that I may learn its secrets, glean its wisdom, after which you may mount the head wherever you like in this dreadful house.
I have no interest in keeping any piece of that thing around. It must be destroyed utterly and completely for me to swear fealty.
Then you may do as you wish with its body.
So long as the beast is completely destroyed, I will serve you as I reside upon this earth.
Abdurrahman, fetch me my quill and a...
No. Not until the beast is slain will I swear this fealty.
Well, we should still at least have terms, should we not? This is a formal contract here.
Very well.
And he just presents this like papyrus like scroll, and it's just cuneiform. It's not even like in English. Just sign here for now. Your blood, obviously. Blood is binding. I can assure you, I will sign in my blood as well. Keep everything on the table.
All right. And he will sign. As long as he walks upon this earth, he will serve as a follower of Liat upon destruction of the beast.
Yeah. She will take the pen that was used to prick her own finger, put her signature beneath his, also in cuneiform. And then she'll follow it with an actual sort of English script. And then Abdurrahman will pour like a little wax seal down, and I imagine she has like a signet ring, and she'll just sort of press her signet into it. And it's done. You will guarantee me an audience with this beast, and after which I have gleaned the information that I desire. You may do with it as you wish. You will destroy it. And
you will aid me in its destruction.
I will aid you in its destruction, so long as I am given safe access into the fragrant void.
Very well.
I can't think of a more winning team than you and I.
Indeed. The immortal and the monster hunter.
Cheers. Well, it's rather gauche to cheers with tea, isn't it?
It's very London, very British, though.
Oh, I hate the British. Abdurrahman.
Amen.
And he'll produce like a little decanter of like some sort of spiced wine or like some like liqueur, and we'll pour it out in little shots, and Liat will hold hers up to cheers.
Atticus will do the same.
Take a shot.
Amazing. Okay. I mean, like, I don't even think you could take that off, even if there was like a vulnerable move involved here, because that just sounds like a whole other different kind of fatal binding.
Yep. I am living up to the condition,
Oh
Mads.
my God.
I wouldn't have this idea if you didn't give me such a condition. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. I don't know if you're sarcastic or not, but damn.
I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, so
Just making sure, because it's like, wow.
So I think as my clue, I will produce like as Atticus and Liat have been talking, Liat will or Abdurrahman rather will produce like a tome for Liat, and she'll start to flip through it, and she'll turn to a page and say, "Does this look familiar?" And the clue itself is a depiction of the beast on in possibly ancient parchment.
yes. Already paying dividends. You are a lady of your word.
I always have been, even if people don't like that word.
You know what? Fair point. Honestly, true. Liat has been a straight shooter this whole time. If anything, she's always been unrepentant about who she is.
Yeah, and that's why we love her. Alrighty. So, okay.
That's all our scenes. Let's get some day moves going.
Absolutely. But before we do, because I forgot to do it last time, and I apologize for this, because we were like kind of like rushing. there are rewards for the collector. And I'm going to read
Oh.
them off, and then you guys get to pick from them. Okay? There's one very specific one for the undeniable. Okay? So, for the collector, I can't find the damn tab in the threats, so I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, for the undeniable only, you learn to more deeply tie yourself to your reflection. Scar your reflection and add the item alchemical brand to your personal quarters. When you experience an event that will result in your death, mark this item instead of invoking the Janus mask. The event occurs, but you survive and heal or resurrect after a short time. The brand remains on your reflection, but this feat will only work once.
This
A
feels very
vest.
appropriate with like Abdurrahman. Feels like similar sort of magic.
Yeah. A vest of unknown armor, light yet resilient. If worn, it may be marked in lieu of taking a wound to the chest or torso, even if the wound would otherwise be fatal. An antique spear, the tip painted with a blue-tinted reflective paint. A collection of tomes detailing secrets from history. And a memento from the investigation. Ask another hunter what it is, and then add it to your personal quarters.
John Weiss was not really involved with this investigation, so I would like a memento, please, from Liat.
I think this would be appropriate for John, but you can have the sword that was used to attempt to kill Liat.
Oh, nice.
Too funny.
I would like to claim the collection of tomes detailing secrets from history.
Ooh.
Figure that's uncharacteristic, and I have enough items that are all about fight, fight, fight.
Fight, fight, fight. Yep. Okey-doke.
And I think, just real quick, because I have to scar my reflection if I take the alchemical brand, but I think the way that my reflection is scarred is, so I've learned this brand, and my acolytes are putting it on the statue itself, sort of trying to chisel it, the symbol into it. But as a result, some of the scaffolding is unsteady and breaks, and a few crew members die because of it.
Yeah, sounds appropriate. Okay. All right. Rewards claimed. Yay. So, tell me where you guys want to go.
King in
Before-
Shadows.
I want to go to
Yeah.
the Fragrant Void.
What?
Bro, you just want to go now? Hold on. We got
Wow.
we got a job to do.
Doesn't give a shit.
Like
love it.
I want to go to the Society Obscura because that's where the King in Shadows is being held and whatnot.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I guess we're all going to Society Obscura then, because that's where we need to go for the Fragrant Void.
I guess, but before we go, I do owe a clue. As John is cleaning up a little bit, to shave and whatnot, just so he doesn't have this weird patch on his neck. I think for a moment there appears a halo behind his head in the reflection of his mirror, and then when he blinks, it's gone.
So what's the clue? The halo?
Yeah, the halo.
Go ahead and put that into the King in Shadows thread. So the custom move from the Waitley camera from last season is Void Walker. When you have the cosmic passage marked and use an object of power to attune to the fragrant void, roll with sensitivity. On a hit, you travel to the fragrant void and gain keen insight into a threat of your choice. Keeper reveals 2 clues. On a 10+, no entity from the void will disturb you. On a miss, unmark the cosmic passage and then cross it off your sheet. So that's what you're activating. That's the random fun you get. So let's see.
Thankfully, I haven't marked the cosmic passage, so I'm good. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would be rolling because it's my intent. But how is?
But you don't have the cosmic.
You
passage
can't
marked.
do it. You literally cannot.
Yeah,
so you
because
have
you
to do
have
it.
to have it marked to use it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's very specific.
Alas, it seems that we'll be going to the Fragrant Void when Sir Atticus deems it absolutely necessary for us to go to the Fragrant Void.
This now makes sense, though. I misread the rule, but now it makes even more narrative sense that she would come to you and ask.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Totally
is
planned
great.
all this. It's great.
Yeah. No, Atticus realizes, he's like, I would be more than happy to show you how to get there, knowing full well you are completely incapable of going there as you are right now. You'll get there eventually, though. I believe in you.
Okay. So, is everybody still going to the Society Obscura, or are we changing our plans here?
Now,
Well, if go on.
I still want to go.
I still want to go.
I'm just looking at the threats again. She doesn't really care about the King Shadows, but I think that she's gonna make good on her word about helping with the beast. So I think that she's going to seek out any connections to it and hopefully let it know that, hey, if you want to go take tea, I'll be at Hargrave here. I'll be at Hargrave House. So come over, hang out. We'll paint each other's nails. We'll talk about boys. Boys named Atticus.
Very particular boy on the table.
Very particular boy on the table, for sure.
We'll talk about boy.
Boy.
A boy.
A boy. All right. Yeah, I mean, last they were at the industrial slaughterhouse, but this thing, let me see if there's anything listed on the actual beast sheet. Give me a half a mo.
Well, I'm going, you know what I'll do is I will go visit Pettigrew, because he obviously was involved in that case. And I think that's probably why she knew about the beast and like knows it, like why she knows about its involvement and all that.
Yes.
So she'll go visit Pettigrew at Scotland Yard and command him to help her find it. Command him to help her find it.
Help me.
Of course. Okay. Let's get the two of them settled over at Society Obscura before we head into searching out D.I. Pettigrew. Okay. So Society is, as we've described before, townhouse. It looks very innocuous in the daytime. I mean, it just looks like a place where they will talk about photography and, just discuss usual things about photography, like during the day.
Do they still have the gaudy Instagram rooms?
Yes.
Great. I'm glad that I jumped dimensions. Some things never change.
No, the Abernathys are still, click click.
Atticus will kind of like elbow John. They have a jungle room in here that is absolute nonsense. You must see it. They have rubber snakes.
Rubber snakes.
Yes. Absolute absurdity.
Snakes made of rubber.
Yes. Who's manning the doormats?
Yeah, because you've jumped dimensions, it's like pretty much the same thing. The Abernathys run the place, and Periwinkle is at the door.
Very well.
Oh.
Quite handsome young man. He is actually dressed in what looks like fuzzy loincloth at the moment, with kind of like leather straps, like kind of across his chest, holding, I don't know, like rudimentary looking weapons and such. And it's like, oh, hello, are you here for the photo shoot?
Yes.
Yes, we are going to be in the jungle room today, as you can see.
Oh, yes, I figured.
Yes, you look as if you're ready for hunting yourself, yes?
One must dress for the part that they are given.
And he kind of like looks behind you and says, Are you here for doing the photo shoots too, sir? I mean, like
Uh,
we might
uh,
have some costuming that you can use.
yes. Yes. John is just very awkwardly just standing there.
Atticus will lean forward. First time jitters, you understand, I'm sure. Not all of us are professionals like you, Periwinkle.
No, absolutely. There's no one like me, sir.
Quite. Please, lead on, Periwinkle.
Absolutely. Um, and he'll actually show you into a side room that you didn't see, like in the other dimension, Sir Atticus.
Mm.
And like he'll kind of show you to like this kind of back room of like costumes appropriate to said rooms, and he'll kind of gesture to John. Um, you will want to put your coat on these hooks here. Your equipment can remain on the floor. You would need to pick from one of these particular um, uh, outfits. This rack right here, sir.
Like John is very slowly like taking off his jacket, and he's just like he keeps on looking at Periwinkle and then looking at Sir Atticus and he's like a total deer in headlights. Just doesn't know what to do.
While John is slowly trying to get into costume, may I do a information move with Periwinkle using presence?
Absolutely.
Just chatting up Periwinkle. So, lad, tell me about this King in Shadows play. Sounds very dramatic, very nonsense, if you ask me. I'm glad to hear that the Society Obscura is doing something new. With this 11 that I rolled, simply amazing. But I would love to hear more, Periwinkle, about this King in Shadows.
Oh, yes, of course, sir. Well, I mean, the production had, I guess, scoped out different locations and decided that the society's levels created this tiered stage that they would not only use for the performances but also as performance art. Like a new way of seeing the stage, seeing the performers, seeing the performance. So it was actually quite the honor. At least the
Oh,
Abernathys thought so. Um,
I
so
see.
yeah, they were quite taken by the production coming in and saying, all these things that could be set up and didn't have to set much up at all.
And the Abernathys are just happy for the publicity, I imagine. A lot more exposure for the society.
Exposure. Nice joke there, sir. Yes,
Thank you. I'm trying. Unfortunately I must admit, Periwinkle, all this theater, all these dramatics, I'm very unaccustomed. The only reason I'm so comfortable is I'm used to going from place to place. A change of scenery, I'm sure you understand.
Oh, of course, sir. That's one of the reasons why we have so many different rooms, to have the variety without necessarily going anywhere at all.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite things. Also, a question, lad. Do you have that particular camera? The Waitley camera?
Not the Waitley camera, sir. We have different photographic equipment here.
No.
I've
There's
not.
a very particular camera by a very particular maker. If you're not familiar with it, don't even worry about it, Periwinkle. I'm sure you have other responsibilities to care to, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, it seems that John.
I'm never the one behind the camera, sir. I'm
No,
always in
no,
front.
you with a build like that, please, Periwinkle. You are clearly built for someone that the camera is obsessed with.
Yes.
I've
Yes, it
learned
is.
much from Liat about how to puff people up with pride. It's working out wonderfully, John. John, why are you not done in costume yet?
I think the reason why John is also not done getting on his costume is because uh, I think, John, you're going to see behind this rack what looks like a dark shadow. It's kind of dimly lit in this place. Like the only thing that's really giving off light is like the open door, like leading from the hallway and such. but I think you notice like a strange shadow, like in the corner on the floor, and then you realize that it is a costume crown that is at the back of this rack. And it is dripping with what looks like black ichor, but smells very much like blood. That is your clue. A costume crown dripping with blood and black ichor.
Oh.
Hold on, wait, didn't you say that like the play needs to end with the death of a king? Okay, all right. Nice.
Okay, well, I'm taking this bad boy. I don't know, like I think like as like I'm sort of like as like Sir Atticus is distracting Periwinkle, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like, and I was originally a bit distracted by Periwinkle as well, but like the crown got my attention because it's a bloody little thing. I think like I brought in like my little medical bag, and I have like secret compartments for holding wet things.
Yep.
And I'm just going to yoink it in there.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think John eventually gets like just like he doesn't take off his pants at all. Like he keeps on like his normal pants and shoes, but like he found like I think like this is explore like tan colored explorer's garb and a hat, and like he gets
Plenty of
dressed.
pockets in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
John looks like Milo from Atlantis.
You're not wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Equally as awkward as like Periwinkle is, like he's just like very fascinated with Periwinkle and how much or how not at all dressed he is. It's very fascinating that he is the one that's entering the door.
Well, I mean, he's also and you may have noticed it more now because, of course, like looking in the light and such from the door, you can tell like he's got quite the pronounced musculature.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes,
Yeah.
that's the reason why, or one of the reasons why he answers the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me just look here because I can't remember. And like we'll just go by what what we had from last time. So yeah, the if you wait to go into the room, like that looks incredibly fake. Poor animals. Fake animals and like like shrubbery, literally shrubbery from done up in rubber as well. Probably looks great on camera, but looks like shit in person.
I feel like I'm back in the Amazon, like I never left.
Oh, the Abernathy's will be so glad to hear that, sir. They wanted to make sure it looked authentic.
Yes, they did a very fine job with the... And he'll kind of pull a little snake down and let it bounce back. Authenticity.
Okay, so this is what you meant by rubber snakes.
Good God, man, what did you think I meant?
We'll discuss that later.
Okay. John, I'm going to give you a chance to roll something if you want to roll something before I head over to Liat.
Sure. I don't know what to roll with because, like,
Reason?
if it's with reason, I have to get this disadvantage.
Okay.
Must you?
I think so because, like, I'm just like very out of my elements, very distracted, and just very confused.
How about some composure? You're trying to be sneaky about looking for shit. How about that?
Okay.
Just as uncomfortable.
6.
Fun. Okay, great.
You know what? Well, we need the clues. And this is funny. I'll mark the cosmic passage.
Wait, I forget what the good doctor gets for cosmic passage. What is it?
I just increased my sensitivity by 1. That's it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I knew it was something easy because I mean, like, I don't remember anything bad for that. So
Yeah,
okay.
unlike the majority of the stat adjustments for cosmic passage, I don't reduce my reason. I'm just too smart.
Well, I'm gonna say something funky happens, like, because of this, though.
Mhm.
You step into this room, and you feel as you feel an all body shiver, as if something is watching you. You can't tell from where, and it could be from everywhere, but something is watching you. And you get that atavistic shiver down your spine, realizing that. So, Liat, you are headed over to Scotland Yard. Did you change again, or are you still wearing the feather festooned thing?
Oh no, no. Absolutely changed.
Okay.
I was thinking something a bit more respectable. Maybe like really low cut in the front and the back, so that you see like her navel and the top of her butt crack. And then I'm thinking feathers, more plumes of feathers on the shoulders. Yeah, that kind of vibe. Maybe like a nice peacock blue color. Maybe the feathers on her shoulders are peacock feathers.
Ooh.
Yeah, understated. Really, really classy.
Yeah, for sure.
And opera gloves, leather opera gloves.
I think all of the constables that are in attendance are just just gawking at you. Like, they say nothing.
Yeah, when she notices though, and when she walks past them, she says, "Careful now, or I'll have your eyes." And she'll keep going.
Yeah, and I think they'll all avert as they will. Um, yeah, his office is in the back, of course, and he seems to have shed his jacket and rolled up sleeves. Just actually looking at his desk with his head in his hands, or like his head, like like kind of cradled in his hands, like his temples, and he's just shaking his head at the papers that he's filling out. Um, and it looks like he's got some smudges of blood on his jacket and also on his collar, I guess. He looks very disheveled, not his usual self.
Yeah. If the door is unlocked, Abdurrahman will just open it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pettigrew.
Oh, and he perks up and immediately will scrabble to neaten himself and his papers and yes, mistress.
See, you've been up late again.
It was an eventful night, ma'am.
Yes, it was. I do appreciate your intel. Uh, these killings, this creature that, well, it's all very fascinating.
Horrific. Sorry, Mom.
That too. What else have you found in your investigations? Have there been any leads, any other exciting clues that have revealed themselves to you or your ilk? And she just sort of gives an ugly look at the direction of the other officers.
All right, so let's see. Let's pick out something. Did you want to activate your your move since they're a follower? Does that carry over into
Giveth?
yeah, giving them something to get
I'd
something?
have to give them something. I don't want to give them anything right Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Just want to make sure. All right. Let me see. What do I have here so far? So go ahead and roll. Definitely presence, since you're trying to weasel stuff out of them.
Actually, I'm just looking right quick, maybe to see if there might be something I want to use.
Sure.
Nah, good. That's a 10.
Nice. Yes, Mum. As my men and I crawl through the remains. Yeah, he's baring his teeth like he's quite uncomfortable with what he remembers seeing and all the things that they had tabulated. He pulls together some of the papers and shows you. My men had found this particular symbol. Lansing had actually is able to illustrate very well, and he managed to copy that from the grounds of the slaughterhouse. And you see an intricate symbol, like reasonable facsimile drawn, but it looks like it's ruined by a lot of bloody fingerprints somehow. But you make out that the symbol is a Sir Atticus, I'm gonna ask you. Tommy Rawhead has, well, complicated history with your family. Would you say that it leaves a calling card of some sort, of some kind of symbol?
Mm,
And if it does, what does the symbol look like?
I think it is just a. It always leaves the head dismembered. The rest of the body is gone.
Yeah. We found this, and it is the Lady Everly Grey's head. But you can see that this was etched into her skull. And, you see the symbol on it, and that's what I'm going to leave it as for the time being. So,
She'll look at it. I think it's probably like a photograph, unless he has the head here with him. But she'll take stock of it and say, "Death becomes her," and she'll throw the photograph on the desk. Well, this has been very illuminating. You look so down, though, Pettigrew. You're not getting tired or soft on me, are you?
no, Mom. This has just been the most involved and graphic case that we've seen in some time.
Even more so than the Ripper.
Yes, that is precision. As much as I hate to admit it, the details of that were more precise. And this is just primal fury. But there's some sort of horrible beauty about it.
Yes.
It's deliberate.
There is a beauty to it. And that is why I have also come. Need you, since you seem to have a better understanding of its patterns than I currently do. I need you to leave something for me, for it to find. Will you do that for me?
He has a very puzzled look on his face. Mum?
Oh, I don't know. One of your cadets, one that hasn't pull their weight around the precinct.
Well, Smythe, of course. I mean,
Well, then I need you to use Smythe as bait, lure the creature out, and bring it to me. You will do this,
yes, ma'am.
of course. When you are done, have it sent to Hargrave House this evening. Let it know I'm waiting.
He doesn't dare look up at you, even though he has a ton of questions on his lips. And just...
You have a question. And she'll sort of like tilt her head down, sort of like almost like a teacher to a shy child.
Again,
You may ask one.
despair flits across his face. Blood or flesh, Mum? And he settles like a very deep look of resolve on his face.
You will do this for me, won't you? And she'll look over to Abdurrahman, and she will produce a very, very fine, small plaster plaque of herself from ancient Assyria. And this is me using Giveth with my my personal quarters item.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like, his eyes gleam now with the pleasure of your favor. And he looks almost in a trance as he takes it reverently, looks at it, and again his eyes glow. And yes, Mom, it shall be done.
Very good. I look forward to this evening then.
It shall be done. And he bows deeply.
Yeah, she'll turn heel, satisfied, and she will walk out.
Okay. Back to Society Obscura. You are in the jungle room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you rolled
Effectively 7 to 9.
okay. Did you say you marked the... No.
Yes, I did, which got me to the 7-9.
Okay, great. All right. That one already happened. So this is fun. You are looking around and just, I don't know, like, what do you think of like all this cringy rubber fakeness of the plants and the animals as you're like kind of making your way through this?
It's honestly wasn't what I was expecting. Like, from what I've seen from Periwinkle and how Sir Atticus described this place, I thought that I was going into a sort of different area, but considering who Sir Atticus is, this makes a lot more sense as to be this than what I thought. I'm a little bit ashamed about what I thought, so like I'm a little bit embarrassed like being here, like um and just like I've like the chills, the creeps, and just going on, and I just so I'm just going to try to make conversation, I guess, with Periwinkle and just go. So, Periwinkle, what do you do around here?
Oh, I am a model. I pose for
Mhm.
these pictures. I mean, they have them as an exhibit, as a regular exhibit for the society members to show different techniques. They like my physique, of course, because there's like it shows the planes of shadow and light perfectly. You can tell he's quoting from one of the things that the members have said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as he's talking, I think you will see, but this is something you would definitely notice, John. I think as he's talking and he's kind of like showing you around and like, moving things back and forth, he's so involved in telling you what he does that he doesn't notice, and I have no idea where this went.
I think you copied and pasted somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it. Oh, that's not great.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, how the hell did it end up there? Anyway, yes, human remains in an unusual place. So as he's moving some of this shrubbery around, you take a peek and you notice it's like, oh, those are bits, and not great bits
Oh
either.
man. I was
But they're
hoping.
not. But they don't smell. That's the funny thing. I mean, like like that's not rubber. That's not rubber at all. You can tell the difference between like faked stuff and the real
Yeah,
thing.
but real stuff would smell though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's like it's in a again in the midst of all this stuff, and perhaps the smell of the rubber is masking, the remaining smell of of the desiccation. So
So
it's not squelchy. Let's put it that way.
okay. Oh, okay. So it's bones.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah.
I was
But these are
hoping.
not fake. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting props.
Yeah, aren't they? And
Mm.
he will basically like point at one of the panthers that's in the like on in the trees, which does
Mhm.
not look like anything like the natural world would hold. Um, and then like maybe a toucan or something like that that's kind of placed awkwardly somewhere else. Yeah. So
I, as a player, love this place. um, if I'm able to do another investigation move, Atticus would like to just try and sniff out the Waitley camera, the same presence, the ambiance. Just this is the place that he defined as being the most in tune with the fragrant void. And if he's gonna keep up his end of the bargain with Liat, um, kind of need an item of power. He's used the burden before, but he also doesn't want to like give Liat the burden. You know what I mean?
oh god,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
That would not be good.
No. So like an item of power is needed. He just kind of wants to sniff out if maybe there's something else that ties this place to the fragrant void or not.
Are you using sensitivity?
Yes.
You know what I'm going to ask you for, right?
No, I actually don't know.
What have you always usually done with the
Oh,
burden, with
oh, am I
sensitivity?
am I pulling out the sword? And
I'm
yeah,
asking
you know
you.
what? Yes, I will. I will draw my sword. Periwinkle, I'm going to get into character for the photo shoot. If you excuse me, it's my method.
Oh, oh.
Mhm.
Would you mind if I stayed and observed, sir?
Atticus will draw his sword. No, of course not. Just be careful. And I will draw the burden, and I will Inigo Montoya my way and start swinging it around slowly,
Information
pensively.
move, please.
So I get advantage because I'm using the burden and making a
Yes.
fool of myself.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Thank you. You are too kind, oh great facilitator. We are not worthy. Oh boy, I needed that because I rolled snake eyes plus
What?
5. So that makes it an 8.
Oh,
You
Jesus
can't be
H.
mad. That I'm rolling terribly today.
No, no. Wow. Wow.
Periwinkle nearly avoided dying today, chaotic.
Yeah, serious. Jesus
I-
H.
My God.
My God, indeed. But I will say, what you end up finding, and maybe perhaps you remember this from when you were here in society, is that it leads you. You feel drawn. The burden is leading you like through the corners as if, it's like taking you on a dance. And as it swings round and then, the point swings upward and then down and then it like, boops you right into a tree,
Mm-hmm.
um in the loosest sense. You
Uh-huh.
notice that in the tree when you part the leaves back, you see a shadowy sigil.
Oh,
And
that's not set dressing.
that is not set dressing whatsoever. It is a dark, curling, jagged little thing.
Hmm.
And just as a note, Chaotic, you can help me remember this later. If you encounter the sigil and it is used to answer a question, you will take the following condition. You have seen it. And this condition comes with wonderful experiences.
That's so dramatic and threatening, and I love it.
Indeed, sir. So, shadowy sigil scrawled on a tree. That is your clue.
Okay.
So, yeah. Back to Liat. Oh, John, let's see, hold on. You have a 8. So Sir Atticus has an 8. John, you have a 7 to 9. First thing that happens is that you guys get interrupted, that the Abernathys have come down and, like, are urging, like, everyone to pile in and start, like, figuring out place to pose and how poses are going to work. And then, let's see. You haven't answered a question yet, so I'm not going to put you have seen it yet.
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give you conditions at the end of the phase because I'm rather
Perfectly
tapped at
fine.
the moment. Yep. And Liat. Okay, so you have left Pettigrew with his mission. Oh boy, he's gonna be doing something with I can't remember what they're called. The baby bobbies.
I thought they were called cadets, but I'm
There we
totally
go.
probably wrong. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, something like that. Like baby bobbies is what
Baby
I'm gonna
bobbies,
call 'em.
yeah.
Yeah. So baby Bobby Smythe. Yeah. He's gonna be doing something for later on too, or at least during the day phase that we won't see, and we will see the results of come night phase. So, yeah. What would you like to do before we close out of day phase?
I'm actually fine just going to dusk. I think that she's got enough going on.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. How about you two? Sir Atticus, John, did you want to do anything else at the society as you're having pictures taken? Yay!
Honestly, I'm surprised our illustrious hosts are fine with the two people who strode up and said, "Oh yeah, we're totally part of the photo shoot." They probably don't care. They're just like, bodies.
Well, Sir Atticus looks good.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Now, John, be proud of yourself. You're alive. That's more than we can say about anything else in this room. Please, says Atticus, absolutely unaware there is an actual dead body in the room as well.
God, I have an idea for the type of condition for what John has. I think it's mixed feelings about this whole situation. This is just like, huh? Like going from like a very handsome periwinkle to dead body to Sir Atticus telling him, cheer up, you got this, and like that sort of thing. It's just like lots of things happening at once.
Let's put you down to perplexed. That's your condition.
Whiplash.
Perplexed. And then Sir Atticus, how you feeling about this?
It's ominous. I'm not certain. I'm also kind of concerned that I won't be able to uphold my part of the bargain without giving up something very important to me. So, like, that's also a concern.
Ooh. Yeah, it's not coming to me. It's like, I kind of have an idea what I want to say, but it's like
Leave it so that it can be dramatically revealed at the beginning of the next session.
Sure. We'll see, but you will get a condition. So put TBD condition on your sheet because I
Got
gotta
it.
figure out something. Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thanks. All right. And then Liat, I know it's not you doing it actually, but I think forcing D.I. Pettigrew's hand on this, I think you need to scar your reflection.
But I gave him an item from my thing.
Oh, wait, that's right, because you once you give an item, then that means it's like you don't scar. Never mind. Okay. Unscathed again. She got away with it. Damn it. Okay, great.
She can't keep getting away with it.
She's getting away with it.
Again.
You meddling kids.
Darn it.
Yeah, pretty much. I love it. Oh my god. This is great. Okay. So we're hitting dusk phase. My god.
Oh boy.
Oh boy indeed. Boy howdy. Before we do, let me just take a look see at the threats again because King in Shadows, complexity 6, you only have 5 clues. 5 clues. St. Petersburg Mirror, you guys didn't do anything with that. There's only 2 clues on the board for that thing. And the Beast. You have 5 clues, but you conceivably could try and answer the 4 question if that's the one you want to answer. That's up to you. But looks like it's the more dangerous one. Yeah. More dangerous
We
one.
love danger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
It's too dangerous.
So yeah, thinking upon it, let's do some dusk phase stuff first, and then we'll see if you guys want to try to answer a question before you break tonight. Okay? So, oh boy, dusk. Sir Atticus. Yeah.
Oh. Oh no.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Oh, not until it's resolved, right? You keep rolling until the beast is resolved. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What'd you get?
6.
My God.
God dang it, dude.
I know.
Love it.
I will have to mark a mask. Well, what is the bad thing that the beast does before I determine if I'm going to mark one of my rapidly dwindling masks?
Hold on.
Okay.
Cosmic passage. What the mother? Really
That
wants to
also
keep
means
pushing my
that
hand.
that also means that I'm entering night phase with 3 conditions.
Oh my God.
All right.
It's okay. I just got to be really violent once, and everything will be okay.
Sure. Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Anyway, I think in this dusk phase, as twilight falls, everything culminates in your senses. You are smelling, you are seeing, you are feeling, you are hearing. It is on the hunt, even more so now that it knows where it's going to go, what it's going to do, and you can feel this along with Tommy. Snuffling, laughing. You know he's laughing at you as he goes to a church. Blurry, but smells familiar. And the church is dimly lit as someone in robes and hunting gear makes his way around the church doing the normal evening functions to close up service by himself.
I would like to mark a mask of the past. I would like to flash back to the first time that I met Father O'Donnell, beaten, broken, bloodied, after having led another failed hunt against the beast. There I was, broken upon the same church, and there was the Father who took me in and healed me. No questions asked. despite everything that my father had put him and his kin through. And I mark my final mask of the past. And I use that will to drive the beast elsewhere. Bumping it up to a 7 to 9.
Right. I mean, you already get bloodthirsty, so just like,
Yeah.
Okay. And Dr. Weiss, night work, resurrectionist, what are we doing?
Oh boy. I am sending. Yeah, I think with like how things are going, do we want to answer the King in Shadows, because that's currently at a -1 if we try to do
I'm
that.
fine waiting on that, but I think given what Atticus and Liat talked about, he's dead set on destroying the beast. So I think we could answer the first question to that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, well then I will, since we're doing that, I will send for Harley,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll take the condition ghoulish, so like I also go into the night phase with 3 conditions.
Oh my god, what are people doing?
But as long as I have Harley, I get advantage on everything.
Okay.
I will also pick for my second option, that there's no blowback or complications from any criminal activities the grave robbers get up to that night.
Nice. Okay. All right. And so doing that, you're not going to activate night work, right?
I'm not activating night work because, like, I need to help Sir Atticus out with this beast.
Oh my god.
Thank you. You are the real wingman. Let's go.
Serious. Holy shit. Ah, paint the scene from Hargrave House. What's left? I don't even know.
One spots.
Kitchen?
Yeah, let's do. Oh god, kitchen. Sure. The kitchen existed long before the rest of the house, having been
Oh, wait.
part of what?
Could we do the dining room?
Did we do the dining room? I thought we did the dining room.
It's not marked on the thing, is why.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the dining room.
I feel
Oh
like
boy.
this might be Atticus's
Okay,
last.
got it.
So.
Oh god. God damn. All right, the dining room. You don't take meals together often, but tonight is an exception. What's on the menu?
Meat, steak.
I think it's a sort of type of dumpling meal. It's like the meat has been ground up very nice and finely, and the dumplings seem to be made of and like it's very buttery and well salted, and it's pretty delicious. But it's not really like when you ask John about like what's it called. He says, "Oh, it's pelmeni."
What?
Pelmeni, Pelmeni.
How does it taste?
In contrast to that, Dormon has prepared a lovely spread of Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cuisine, specifically Palestinian. There's some grape leaves, there's some baklava, there's some sort of finely ground up meat that's been lovely spiced, that features some lovely spices as well as rice, some house-made hummus, and some flatbreads that you can sort of peel and dip to use as your cutlery. she, of course, is offering this to everybody because what they're eating looks like it is fit for prisoners and not fit for higher members of society. And I think Liat will extend this invitation by looking at each of their plates and just sort of saying, "You're not dead yet. You can eat."
Atticus will try everything that is present. He's bulking.
He'll need it.
Yes.
All right. So before I ask the question, what the hell people are doing, let's look at the clues for the beast. 5 clues. A side character who has been intimate with the legacy turns up dead. A pile of warm white ash that smells of foul chemicals. A family portrait with the legacy blotted out. A depiction of the beast on impossibly ancient preserved parchment. And the head of Lady Everly Grey as a calling card with a symbol, intricate symbol etched into her head. 5 clues. I'm assuming for complexity, what makes the beast most vulnerable? Resolve the threat by using the beast's weakness to physically destroy it.
Any ideas, Atticus?
Am I allowed to use all the stuff that I wrote down, Mads?
Yeah. I mean, you have to just incorporate it these clues.
It is a fey creature, so iron would make sense. Maybe something that is but fitting you with all of this other stuff.
Do you want my theory?
Mm-hmm.
I believe there is a tie between Sir Atticus and the beast. That much is clear and defined.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever would truly kill Sir Atticus would kill the beast, but this is particularly in terms of spirit, because I imagine since the Sir Atticus died in this dimension, but then also kind of didn't die with you, I believe that the head is the key, that you will keep on sort of reforming with different versions of yourselves as long as the head is not destroyed, which is why we see the family portrait with the legacy sort of blotted out. I imagine it's not the entire physical legacy, but just the head of the legacy, and the sort of the depiction of the beast on ancient preserved parchment. The beast has always been here, and leaving the head as a calling card. So we've got 3 clues there. So iron to the head could fit that.
I think it might be weak to being forgotten. I think that as long as people acknowledge Atticus's existence, this thing will still continue to exist.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar because it's Fey. I don't think that weakness is a head thing. I think it's an ego thing. I think it's because it's Fey. It's built on this whole idea of sort of satisfying itself and being acknowledged as great. And so I think that let's look at the question again. What makes the beast most vulnerable? So I think that obviously it's leaving the calling card as a means of recognition because it wants recognition. It wants to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
So it leaves behind this head, obviously. I think the parchment, the depiction on parchment is another sort of testament to its ego. This is a obviously ancient scroll. It's something that has stood the test of time in the way that the beast wants to.
It. Yeah.
Family portrait of the legacy blotted out. I think that maybe maybe it's sort of an omen. Maybe sort of tying in what Chaotic said about your head being the head being the only thing blotted out. Maybe it was sort of either maybe a note from the past or to the future, something that maybe an ancestors of yours left behind is sort of a clue. And it's the idea that if you wipe the idea of this beast from your mind, from your memory, if you stop caring about it, you'll start to break that link between the two of you. And I think that the beast is jealous, and so that's why it turned, that's why it killed Lady
because
Everly
my family is dedicated to not acknowledging this thing, giving it the dignity is due. It is a beast just like any other, and it's like,
exactly, it's a fae, so it has a sense of pride and a sense of identity that, like, you're not acknowledging it. You aren't, I'm more than just a beast. I am a god, and you are just sort of, it's hated your family for reducing it to such a base thing. And then, like, maybe this is something folkloric. I'm not so up to date on my fae folklore, but maybe there's something about the chemicals that is part of the ritual to make it weak. So, like, if the whole idea is, and this is sort of maybe going to the night phase stuff, but like, if the whole idea was that Liat gets to talk to the thing and then you get to kill it, maybe those chemicals and that white ash has to be a part of some sort of concoction. And so maybe the plan is that Liat will feed it to the beast, making it susceptible so that you can then get the kill.
And Lady Everly Grey had that on hand, and that's why it was found there, because she knew what it was and how to kill it. Okay. So then the answer to it is, what makes the beast most vulnerable is this chemical cocktail of white rowan ash, whatever magical concoction is like narratively appropriate.
Or maybe it's something that you have to ingest because it's tied to your family and your memory and your acknowledgement of it. So maybe it's this sort of like weird, like, Daredevil thing of like, you have to be blind to it in order to fight it, because if you see it, you're acknowledging its existence.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Like, you have to rely on your other senses to.
I kind of want to use this explanation for the what curse binds the beast to the legacy, honestly. Like,
Okay.
but
I mean, yeah.
no,
I mean, I'd be down
We'd
to
just
roll
be
for it
rolling
too,
with a
but,
negative, though. I mean,
we don't
that's
have
the other
enough.
thing.
We don't have enough clues for it.
like it's -1.
We could always just leave the beast on the board and get more clues. It seems.
Well, here's the thing: is like,
Uh-huh.
if we try to do King in Shadows, and we're also rolling at a minus, so like,
Do we need
we
to
can-
roll to resolve a threat tonight?
I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
think
need to if we don't want
well,
to. I was just,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like-
like basically, you're gonna go into night phase, trying to chase down the beast yet again, surviving another night of the King in Shadows.
I was hoping to use night phase to get more research done and get more clues, albeit more dangerously, I imagine.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
mean,
want to do, John? Because like,
I want to make sure that Sir Atticus doesn't die during the night phase. That's all I want.
You know, a fair concern. All right.
a true wingman, a true homie.
Dude, seriously, oh my god.
They're
So
just good friends.
We could try fighting the beast tonight if we wanted to. It's only
Well,
a
that's the
plus
thing.
1, which is my concern.
Well, that's the thing, though, is it's only +1, but investigating it then becomes tricky because you both have 3 conditions, and Mads can invoke lots of night moves if she wants to, and it could make you it could barrel you straight towards to the grave faster than you
either
think.
way, it's like it's really dangerous because
Yeah.
3 conditions already on the 2 of you, and if you resolve it, well, you resolve it, maybe, I don't know. That also depends on how you roll.
I think
you investigate the hell out of it and then still run into some serious ass risk. You'd be skirting five ruin right now. Like 6 ruin right now if you were playing trophy.
I don't think it's worth trying to resolve a threat right now with the clues that we have available.
Okay.
So you don't want to answer the question. You want to keep investigating.
If we roll poorly, I'm already going to have to mark a mask, so we bump it up. Or Mads gets to make a hard move.
Because if it's wrong...
Because if it's
And
wrong, then we all have to mark a mask.
Yeah.
to bump it up, or take the hard move, your theory's wrong, and then you have to go back and research another clue anyway. So I don't know. It's
Like,
just
the
so much.
consequences are really bad here. And I've been
Uh,
rolling really bad tonight.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Like, Sir Atticus can clear all of his conditions with like a very violent fight.
True.
So like he's good on that end, and I have masks out the wazoo.
True.
As well as Harley, which gives me on advantages on anything I roll using Harley. That
Human
man-
shield. Yeah.
Yeah, human shield. And most of my conditions are social conditions and like interacting with people. So as long as I'm like investigating like physical environments and being reasonable, I should be fine.
Okay. I vote, while I do like your theory, I vote no answering the beast or the King
Okay.
in Shadows tonight.
Okay.
Mark all the clues, and then see what you get for night phase. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. Alrighty. Okay, and then I
It's okay.
figure out
Could we?
announcement.
I have to get going, but
Yeah.
I'm down for like a couple minutes of stars and wishes. But
Yes.
if there's still stuff you need to do, I'm just gonna get going. But
No. Like, let's go ahead and like do
You
some
want to go first?
stars and wishes, and then
yeah, super fun. Happy to be back. Very stressful point where we're at right now. So that's a star for me. I enjoyed all the vulnerable scenes. I love I love chaotic that you're able to play John as, being able to stand up to Liat, because like, she's definitely a bully, and like you don't want a house full of like simps for a bully. It's like that always feels a little weird, but it's also, for me at least, as someone who enjoys role play, it's always a little weird when players are sort of just kind of like channeling a power fantasy as opposed to sort of engaging with characters in a way. And so like your standing up to Liat felt real in that way. It didn't feel like, oh, I know this is a game and I know to like back it up to me, so I'm just going to be an asshole. It felt very like there's motive behind him not having the same sort of reaction to her that everyone else does, and that felt good to play off against. So props to you. And then I love Atticus making a deal with the devil. That's going to be very exciting to play out.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for indulging in the little sparring that led up to it. She means well. Not at all, but
honestly, Atticus has been hanging out with Liat like the longest out of anyone in the house at this point, so I think he's kind of gotten a read on her.
Mm-hmm. I think too, I think she does, have a weird sort of respect for him, and I think even she has like a weird respect for John too, but I think that's a little ways off from like really exploring.
He's a scamp.
He's a scamp. It's fun to play with him. It's like a little kitten. You throw a little ball of yarn. It's fun. Get the laser pointer out. But no, it was a good time. Mads, I don't envy your position right now as far as seeing everything coming to a head. We've also only got 2 mastermind clues left, so yeah, we're coming up on the end of things, and I'm very excited to see where all the cards fall.
Yeah, me too. Kudos to the vulnerable scenes, and just I love the fact that John is standing up for himself, and just we're starting to see a little bit of his history as well, which I really enjoy. And just this wingman bromance with Sir Atticus. I mean, I'm still trying to get it, and I love it, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is fascinating. I want to watch this more. But my Atticus is going to be possibly leaving us soon. I don't know if I could take it. Oh god. And I love Liat, because like Liat is just so badass, but yet like, I can't quite tell if she's got a heart under there, or yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And then wishes are just like, hey, let's see where this goes, because this night phase is going to be quite interesting for the fact that you haven't answered a question, and it's just going to be like pure chaos. I think, yeah, pure chaos. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta give us a star for everyone being patient with me in terms of my mic issues. And also, man, as my perception of the Undeniable as a playbook is that is a very lonely spot to be because everyone loves you, and the PCs are invited to not love you unless you want to make a moment of it, such as with Giveth, which I feel is going to be happening soon, which is very exciting. I, yeah, I love John's relationship with Atticus so much. Like it's very much like John swinging before. Oh no, Atticus is like my main friend in the house. Like he likes me and not, and the others part of like, oh no, I'm I I like him too much and I don't want him to die, and he has a death wish. Oh no. And it's like this sort of side element of like you should be here for the people who are alive, and like there's just the back of my head of like, oh no, my child. Am I like it's a pseudo romance. I feel like it's like kind of a bromance but kind of not. It's very weird to put down into words like of what the relationship is. And I just love being enemies with Liats. Like that's fun. Like Liat, you could stand to be nicer. Honestly speaking, you could be like polite for once in your life.
I mean, she could, but why does she need to be?
Let's see. Stars. Scamp. Liat calling a grown man scamp is amazing. And I was very happy to see that. Also, thank you for indulging in my proposed bargain, especially when you jumped right into the haha, I'm going to get exactly what I want first. And that moment of, hold on, wait, did Atticus play me? What? And then you still followed through and went to talk with your servant about getting more details. So that was really fun. John, I do appreciate the relationship that is building between Atticus and this small doctor that has more common sense. It's very nice. You're right, it is not a romance. It is, I mean, it's brotherhood, it's kinship, it's two men who are trying to help each other be better, which is like really cool to see, especially when both of them have self-destructive tendencies that go in totally different directions and are still like building each other up. So that's fun. Mads, thank you for a wonderful session, for bringing Father O'Donnell in and just giving closure-ish to that. Also, the fact that you have this wonderful tendency to introduce a character I really love and then threatening to kill them in that exact same session. So far, we are 1 out of 3 that are dead, and I'm running out of masks to save all of them. So we will see how that goes. And thank you for saving me with the intermission. I really like the tonal shift of just being able to do a bit in the middle of the session. So thank you very much for that.
I really love the King and Chaz for that. I'm probably using it a little bit too often than I should, but I don't care. I love that. I love that bit.
Once per session.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Periwinkle is your take on Periwinkle is very interesting, Mads. Like I have not seen Periwinkle like that. Like most of the time, like people treat Periwinkle like a boy toy. Like, so it's very interesting to like see this very passionate model who is excited about his job and whatnot. So that's neat.
I think the first time that we did Waitley Camera, I used in Wand of Privilege
You
with
did.
Periwinkle.
Yes.
And me and Periwinkle got more development because he was just hanging out with me. So that was fun.
And you were with Chris's factotum at the time, and that was even more hysterical.
Another straight man.
He did not want to have anything to do with you.
No.
That was beautiful. I really enjoyed that episode. So anyway, thank you all for going through it. Oh my gosh, yet again, and that was amazing. Like, trying to come up with a theory, but then deciding not to go through with it. So this night phase will be very, very interesting. I will pick an unseen before next time, and then we will commence with night phase. Yay! Thumbs up, everybody. It's all good. It's all good. Have a great week. Happy gaming for anything that you do in the interim. And then I'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.